How's it going today, Curtis?
It's going pretty good. Just sitting here trucking on I-81 North, headed up to PA.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you joining us, even though you're on the road. We were just talking a little bit about the recruiting that went down, and we remember. You're one of my favorite players of all time, so I remember them signing you on signing day to out of Virginia to play for Ohio State. We just wanted to get your thoughts and your memories about signing day and the reasons you chose to go to the great Ohio State University.
Oh, yeah. Back then, it was a lot of fun. Recruiting was a lot of fun for me, just doing the fact that we got to travel and meet a lot of different people and meet a lot of the players. And I chose Ohio State because of Coach Tress and Coach Fickle. And Ohio reminded me of Columbus reminded me of Richmond, but on a bigger scale. It was a little bit more faster paced, a little bit bigger area, and it was just once I always wanted to play in front of a big crowd, so I chose my top schools were basically if we could win a national championship and playing in front of a lot of people.
Hey, Curtis, this is James Bonneville. Hey, question for you. I know, coming out of the culture you had working with Coach Kane at Hermitage, was Coach Johnson your first recruiter at Ohio State? And, was it tough being from Virginia not to go to UVA? Because I know they were one of your finalists going down the pike. I mean, what was your thought process and going into that whole thing?
When you say Coach Johnson, which Coach Johnson? You talking about Taylor
Larry Johnson? Larry Johnson.
Well, Larry Johnson, he wasn't even thought of when I was there.
Okay.
Larry Johnson was he came.
Oh, that's right. He was still at Penn State. That's right.
Yeah, he was still at Penn State. It was more so of. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, was it tough? I mean, being from Virginia and playing at Hermitage for Coach Kane, was it tough not going to Virginia? I mean, I understand your thought process and playing on that big stage and playing for a natty, but was it tough to leave your home state in that respect too as well?
Yeah, I mean, at one point it was just due to the fact of that's all I knew. So when they started recruiting me, it was like, oh, okay, this place is cool, And being from Virginia, I didn't understand the recruiting process. Nobody ever explained it to me. So when I got the offers from Virginia and Virginia Tech, I went there first, and it was like, oh, this place is nice. But then when you start going to your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Ohio States, places like that, even I went to USC, and you start seeing, okay, like this is a whole nother ball game. But then you look at where can you win at? I mean, my thing was I wanted to win a national championship. So at that time, I didn't think, Virginia or Virginia Tech could provide me with that. Not saying they were bad schools. It was just that, during that time, I was like, this is where I think I'll be a good fit and we can win.
Yeah. No, and it definitely worked out. That 2014 season, was something of magic, and everything, ended up working out. You guys just really killed it in the college football playoff, taking down Bama and then beating Oregon in the national championship. Just tell us what it was like, Curtis, and your memories of playing in the college football playoff and what it was like for you to live that dream and win a national championship.
It was pretty fun, to be honest with you guys. It was just like we had the opportunity as a team to get closer together, just having a lot of time to prepare, and then really getting to know, really seeing everybody step up, because during the season it's more so you got your starters playing, and maybe one or two people might get in for extra playing time and get some reps, but when you have all that time to prepare, you get to see some of the young guys flourish, and then they get the opportunity to get in and play on special teams to relieve some of the guys that do a lot of playing on offense or defense. So I mean, that was always a big plus, for the playoffs. And we got time to get healthy and get to know some of your teammates a lot better. And so it was a grind because Coach Meyer had us in there, You know, we was getting ready to play Bama. We was practicing their stuff, and we was doing a lot of film watching. And you know, when it came down to the playoff times, you know, the captains, we made a decision to, you know, cut out, you know, after certain times of being at those places in New Orleans, or if it was Dallas, you know, not a lot of free time and going out. It was more so hanging out with your teammates because, you know, as a senior class, we wanted to win the thing, you know.
Definitely. Hey, after the 2014 Virginia Tech game, when you guys lost, I mean, one of the things I keep going back to is not only your ability, but really, I think something a lot of people don't know is just your leadership qualities, which you obviously took into your professional life as, you know, your work on as president of, was it Buckeye Freight and Logistics?
Yeah,
You know,
Buckeye Freight Express. Yep, that's my
yeah, Freight
trucking company.
Express.
Yep.
Yeah. What was it like in the locker room after the game for you guys to come together and pull this all together? I mean, I think the it's really underrated your leadership capabilities and what you and the other teammates did that really capped that season off after that really tough loss at the beginning of the year.
You know, when you take a loss, it's really not like a loss. The way we look at it is, as players anymore, we were trained to always look at it as a learning lesson. And so what I mean by that is you go back and see where you had your mistakes at, and then you correct them. So for us, we went back, learned what we needed to learn, offense, learn how to go against a bare front at that time, and learn how that a lot of people was going to play us man and do different things. So that also gave the coaches to open up their minds and see, like, okay, maybe we could use this type of scheme this week, because at this point we didn't see everything thrown at us. And so, you know, as captains, it wasn't no more playtime. I mean, it wasn't playtime in the sense of when it was time to work, we worked, and when it was time to have fun, we had fun. But we always made sure we were locked in and continue to make the game fun, even though we lost. But, you know, sometimes when you get too uptight about stuff and not looking at the big picture, like we looked at it as, okay, well, we still got another game to get better. And so that's what we did. We use each game to become a new level of success until we got to the national championship.
Yeah, no, and you guys definitely did that. And Curtis, something I wanted to ask you was, I mean, obviously playing at Ohio State, there's that pressure to win every game. And, you know, that to me, I think would be one of the hardest things, you know, in playing at a big time school like that is the pressure to, you know, win every single ball game. And is that something that, you know, you guys had to deal with throughout your career there?
I didn't deal with it. And look, I knew my guys that I was going to war with every weekend was going to be ready. So I never had to deal with depression. Maybe the coaches dealt with depression, but as a team, only time I think we got dealt with pressure is when the game was close and we started seeing people make mistakes that they usually don't make. That's the only time I think we really had pressure. But majority of the time, we went in the game knew we was going to win. and we lost. And if we was lost, we shocked like everybody else. Like, how we lose? Then you go back to the game. I'm just being honest. It sounds cocky, but the guys I played with, you got to look at. Most of the guys I played with that was on the team, they captains in the NFL with big contracts.
Exactly.
So what does that show about the recruiting? You know, and the guys that were recruited there were recruited by either my class or the class behind me.
Yeah.
So that tells you from those 2 years that they chose some great people to put on the team to be able to keep the team going, to keep that pipeline going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah, no, there's no doubt.
Yeah, we got you. Hey, I know there's probably a lot of games you probably remember from your time at Ohio State, but one where I was personally at was the 2014 Snow Globe game against Minnesota, where it was snowing and cold outside. And I remember walking to my seats and seeing Bucknut walking around, and he like literally looked like he was freezing himself to death. How was it playing in that Snow Globe game? I mean, heck, I remember Dilly Bar Dan having a Dilly Bar before the game, and Urban Meyer walking by him, and his eyes were like wide open, like, what in the heck did we just walk into? What was it like to play in that game at Minnesota in 14?
That was probably one of my worst games ever. Just due to the fact, man, I was so cold. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't care how I graded out. I was so cold, like it was just to the point where it's like I lost all mental capacity to be locked in. There was nothing that anybody could tell me. I'm just being honest at this point. You know, I've graded out so bad. I mean, we won, but I graded out so bad, and just got to keep the team up. And everybody was just looking around like, man, these people crazy. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I mean, people out there with cutoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Know, like you said, no shirts before the game. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm not even intimidated. I'm just like, bro, how stupid are you? Like, at this point, I'm not even scared no more.
And like, for Minnesota, that wasn't even a cold. I mean, I could probably name, like, they were trying to say it was like blizzard conditions. I'm like, if this is a blizzard, I don't know what a blizzard. I mean, we must get like, you know, the apocalypse then. I mean, it was, I felt so bad for some of those fans because it looked like they were like living in an igloo during that game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to think about them teams up there. You got Wisconsin, you got Minnesota. Those are different types of cold. And I don't. That's something that you got to get used to. Like,
yeah.
You just have to get used to it.
Yeah.
I was just telling him, I was like, bro, how crazy that he actually back then to actually think it was cool to go outside in some tights maybe and a cutoff. Like, yeah. What was cool about that? Or no shirt? Do you really start thinking like, you don't do stuff like that no more? Not at all. Like, what was wrong? Like, what made you think that was cool back then?
There's no doubt, and that's crazy. But hey, Curtis, I just wanted to get your feelings, man. I know you probably still watch, you know, the Buckeyes and pay attention to them, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on this past season. You know, with all the freshmen out there and all the young guys getting playing time, I was pretty impressed by the way this team came together and was able to, you know, win that Rose Bowl championship. What were your thoughts?
Oh, man, it was awesome. It started off a little shaky. I just didn't understand why some of the stuff was going on, what was going on.
Yeah.
But just having those young guys get those reps, that's the most important thing, man, and just coming in and being able to compete. Because, like you said, when you're a younger player, you're just trying to figure out where you fit in because you don't, like Coach Drayton used to tell us, you don't know. And what that statement basically is stating is that when you coming in, you don't know nothing. Whatever you learn in high school is cool. Whatever somebody tell you to do, you do it until you learn what's going on. So to see some of those freshmen step up and just play fearless is awesome, you know, as being an alum. Because I know that's not easy when you come in and, you know, you got to guard a 2 first-round pick receiver, or you got a running back over there that's supposed to be going first 3 or 4 rounds. And, you know, with the talent level, you go in, you see these people crushing people all the time, and you got to go in there, you're like, well, I either got to crush him or he going to crush me, you know? So, sometimes as a young guy, that's a lot of pressure, you know?
Yeah.
But, hey, once you get used to it and get a couple of reps, you get hit under the chin a couple times, you just keep getting back up, you'll be all right.
To kind of follow up with that, you know, as you get older and you get more wisdom with age, what advice would you give to new coaches, new players coming in, just based on what you went through, that you could help them out moving forward?
My biggest thing is, especially on the coaching piece, because I love coaching, and I love helping people, as you guys can tell. My thing is, a great leader knows how to reach everyone in the room. And I think a lot of times coaches get caught up in, in the recruiting process. Sometimes I think get caught up in the media. I don't know what it is because I'm not in the room with them.
Yeah.
Or taking the stress off of maybe another coach or something like that. Because, you know, they get in heated conversations and everybody, you know, get into different things. But my thing about being a coach, and I always explain this to other people, is when you tell somebody or you go to someone's house and say, hey, I want your son, to me it's your obligation until that kid sees something, until you see otherwise in that kid, to do your best to make that child a man through that process. And what I mean by that is that's just teaching them about life. everything ain't got to be about football, but I feel like if you can reach somebody like in the off season and teaching them different things about life, those kids will go out. Prime example, all those kids that play for Larry Johnson, nobody has nothing to say, nothing bad. Now, that's just one example, and it's because we talk about it. Nobody has nothing bad to say about Larry Johnson. You can go anywhere in the United States, you mention the name Larry Johnson, people's eyes get huge.
Yeah.
And it's because he knows how to reach everyone in the room. Even the players that's not the best, they still love him because they feel like he has done something to fulfill their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he gets top-notch effort. I talked to him the other day, I told him I would pay to come watch him coach because his guys, no matter if they're good or bad or potentially on their way to being good or walk on, whatever it may be, they go hard for Larry Johnson. And it's a reason why. And it's a reason why Larry Johnson has a lot of people get drafted.
Yeah.
And it's because he knows how to reach them. He looks at them other than football players.
Yeah.
And they play their ass off for him.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt. And, Jonathan Cooper got drafted by the Broncos last year and had a tremendous season. And then, Tyreek Smith kind of flew under the radar and had a couple sacks yesterday in the Senior Bowl. So the hits keep coming for him. And, we just remember your career, Curtis, and we're so lucky to get to see you play and enjoyed every minute of it. And we love seeing you having success off the field too. And we appreciate your time today. And we wish you all the best moving forward, buddy. Okay.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. And then also for the players, don't pick a school off of a big name. Pick a school that's gonna fit your style of play.
Yeah.
And that's what we see a lot of kids too. They picking schools because, they Bama or they Ohio State. That's cool. But they might have 6 running backs that's 5-star that's there. Yeah, you can compete, but at the same time, that scheme might not fit your play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's all my 2 cents for today. I appreciate you guys having me on here. I'm going to keep on trucking along here and make a little money for the family.
Absolutely.
You do that, Curtis. Be safe, man, and we'll talk to you again real soon, okay?
I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one.
All right,
Thank you,
Curtis. Have a
Curtis.
good one, bye.
All right.